Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to pass through a GPU to a Windows 10 or 11 virtual machine in Proxmox. So we're going to need to type in a lot of commands in today's video, so please go to the blog post linked in the description and it'll look like this. So we're on our Proxmox dashboard here, and all we need to do is head to shell, because now we need to make sure that we have IOMMU enabled. So, to do that, you want to nano into the etc default group, and you want to add the following line. So, you want to just remove that. Mine's got a bit of extra stuff, but you want to remove this and paste this new one in. So, if you've got an Intel CPU, you paste this line. If you've got an AMD CPU, you paste in this line. Once you've done that, Control X, Y and enter, and then do update dash grub, and then it's going to generate a new grub configuration file. And if you don't know what grub is, it's a bootloader, and then all we're going to do is reboot. So I'll do that by doing the reset command now. So we're back. If I go back to the shell, we now need to see if IOMMU is enabled with this command, so I'm going to do that. Let's find it. There we go, IOMMU enabled. And you can see it's by the Intel virtualization technology for directed I/O. So let's add the modules. So I've already done this, but you just copy and paste them into a space underneath the commented code. Once you've done that, you're going to see if your CPU supports remapping. So mine does. It says enabled IRQ remapping in X2 APC mode. So that means it does support it. So you should see one of these messages. But if it doesn't, you're gonna copy and paste this command into your terminal and restart the Proxmox host. So that's it for the commands. Now let's see if we can actually pass through a GPU. So first we're going to need to create a new virtual machine. So I'm going to call this GPU test, and we're going to do a Windows 11 system. So pretty simple, you know, it's set up a virtual machine, I hope. So just make sure we have at least 4 cores and a minimum of 4 gigs of RAM, like so. There we go, click finish. So you can see if I start the VM, let's wait for it to boot. So we're going to do the necessary setup. So by selecting your country, English, United Kingdom. I don't know why it did that then. Well, I need to find that again. There we go. Next, install now. So it's starting. So we're going to skip this. And I'm going to select Pro, even though it doesn't really matter. Next. I accept. Next. And then click next there. So, whilst it's installing, I just thought I'd tell you something. So I've made a big mistake. This is why it's took so long to do a GPU pass-through video. So I'll walk you through it. So at first, when I created my home lab PC, you might have seen it on the video, I had an i7 3700. Now, this supported IOMMU, which is what you need to GPU pass-through. But the motherboard that I bought did not. So what I did was bought a new motherboard that supported IOMMU. Then I proceeded to put the CPU into the new motherboard and found out that it didn't boot. This is because the new motherboard that I got only supported 2nd generation CPUs. So then I had to redo my whole system and get a new 2nd generation CPU. So now I've settled on the i7 2600. So that's a 4 cores 8 threads CPU at 3.4 GHz, and I've got about 32 GB of RAM. So just beware when you're ordering your parts, make sure that you've got IOMMU support and virtualization support. The way you can check this is by going on the Intel website like so. So if I do i7 2600 and go on the Intel website and scroll down near the bottom, you'll see here it's got VTX, virtualization technology, and VTD, which is for directed I/O, which allows you to pass through your GPU and PCI devices to virtual machines. And then you want to type in your motherboard and check this as well. Now this is the old one that I had a look. Oh no, this is the new one that's in there right now, and you can see that it does support it, where my old one said no next to it instead of yes. So just bear that in mind when you are picking your motherboard and CPU, and also make sure the GPU support's being put through to virtual machines. But most GPUs after 2008 will support that. So let's wait for this to install. So you can see now that we've rebooted. We're going to just wait now until it's got ready, and then we're going to just set up as though it was a normal PC. I won't go through that because it's fairly simple, but then we will go on to actually passing through the GPU. So as you can see, we're fully set up now. All we want to do is open up our favourite web browser. Obviously it's Microsoft Edge, everyone's favourite web browser, if you don't get the sarcasm there. And we want to go to Google, and if you've got an NVIDIA GPU, do NVIDIA drivers download. If you've got an AMD GPU, do the AMD drivers download. Then select your appropriate GPU. Mine's the GT630, and select the Windows 11 operating system. Click search, then download, then download again, and then it will start downloading. So let's wait for that. So now that that's downloaded, you might think, oh yeah, let's install it, but that's not what you want to do. Now you just want to close Microsoft Edge and shut down Windows, like so. Then if we go to hardware, add PCI device, scroll down to our GT630, select everything except from primary GPU, click on add, make sure display is set to default, and then start the VM again. Let's wait for it to boot. There we go, we're back in again. So let's log in. There we go. So if we head to Device Manager, you might be quite mortified because you can see we've got two Microsoft display adapters, but one's got a code 31. That's because we've not got the display drivers installed. So all I need to do is head to my downloads folder and then double click on my drivers. Then we're going to accept the UAC prompt and then click OK. It's now going to begin extracting the driver. So again, let's wait for that. So you can see that now it's opening up as it's extracted. So it's going to check for compatibility. We're not going to install GeForce Experience, we just want the driver, so we'll click agree and continue. An express installation will be fine. Next. So you can see now it's preparing for the install, and soon we should see that it's installing the graphics driver like so. So I won't keep you waiting, let's wait for it to do it. So you can see that the installation is complete, so we're going to just click restart now. So it's rebooted and you might think the screen is black. That's because it will be output into your monitor now. So for just some extra options, all we're going to do is head to display and put that to none. Then we're going to stop the machine. And now we're ready to put through some USBs. So I'm going to do this off camera because it needs some messing around. But once we've done that, I will resume playing the video. So you can see now I've passed through 2 USBs. It says they're unplugged because I'm actually plugging them in the PC now to resume the video. But I added the Razer gear, so the Razer mouse and keyboard. So let's actually start the virtual machine. So pressing start now, we'll click that and switch over my HDMI. Let's see what happens. So we're getting a display now, and as you can see we are in Windows and my keyboard and mouse is working too. As you can see, we are logging in. And we're in Windows, so if I go to display settings, we're going to set this to 1080p. For some reason this TV sets it to 768 by default, but we're in 1080p now. So let's go on Task Manager and see if we can see our GPU. So you can see there it says GT630 and we are now finished. So that's it. Thanks ever so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any trouble passing through your GPU, please let me know using the contact info on my website that will be in the description. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.